We are finished with your transportation problem. So in your transportation problem, what you should do? Your first step is to see whether your supply and demand is equal. Okay, after seeing that your supply and demand is equal, what you have to do? You can start with your methods. Your methods will be your northwest corner rule, least cost method, row minima, maxima, column minima, then your VAM method. Okay. Generally, if they're asking you solve the transportation problem, if they're asking you solve the transportation problem, only like that, if they're asking you, what you have to do is you have to solve it using your VAM method. Okay, VAM is nothing but Vogel's approximation method. Your Vogel's approximation method, what you will do? You will take your these two values of row wise and column wise, find the difference, write it on the side. Then in that difference, whichever is your bigger value, you will take it. You will see from which column and row it has come. According to that row or that column, you will see your least value. For that least value, you will see your supply and demand. Whichever is your least value, you will allocate it there. Okay, so that is your transportation problem. In your transportation problem, definitely it has to be balanced. Okay, after that only you can continue. Okay, next we will go on to assignment problem. So first we will write what is your assignment problem, then we will go on to problems. Okay, so put today's date and write your heading as assignment. Now for your exam point of view, you will definitely have 16 marks question. So in that, what is it, how the pattern it will be is transportation problem or assignment problem. Okay, your option will be like that, your transportation problem or your assignment problem. That is only this. Okay, so you should know everything regarding transportation problem if you're going to do that problem. Otherwise, you have to know your assignment problem. Okay, if at all it is MCQ, you have to know all this. Okay, so first we will write the definition of the assignment problem. The assignment problem is a particular case.
Very good.
Unmute yourself, unnecessary. Assignment problem is a particular case of the transportation problem. Assignment problem is a particular case of the transportation problem in which the objective is to assign, which the objective is to assign, in which the objective is to assign a number of tasks, which will be your jobs or sources. Jobs or sources in which the objective is to assign a number of tasks, that is jobs or sources, to an equal number of facilities, to an equal number of facilities. Facilities can be machines or destinations. Machines or destinations. Equal number of facilities at a minimum cost or a maximum cost. A minimum cost or a maximum cost. So that is your main idea in finding out your assignment problem. The assignment problem, your main aim is to find your minimum cost or your maximum cost. They will give you some job and they will tell you some machines also there. Okay? Or they will give you some persons and they will tell you you have to fix some jobs for them. Okay? So ABCDs are having the person, we will name it as ABCD. We have to assign jobs such a way that you have to get minimum payment for that. Okay? You have to pay that person minimum value. Okay, and you have to get the job done. Okay, so how much if you pay, that person will be happy. That is your minimum cost. If you are finding out your maximum cost, you have to see to that that person gets the maximum profit. Okay, so that is what you're going to find out in this assignment problem. Okay, so whatever is being given, you will be finding out the minimum cost or maximum cost according to the problem. Okay, so write it down. Write your definition first. Then we will go on to problems. If you finish writing, tell me so that we will go on to problems. So it is the number of tasks. This number of tasks can be asked as if at all is MCQ. Task means it is job or sources, you should know that. And your facilities, destinations, anything can be there. Okay, persons. You finish writing, tell me. Have you all finished writing?
Yes, ma'am.
So we will go on to problems. If you do problems only, you will understand what you have to do. Okay, we have got a steps for this assignment problem, but in steps, if you write, it will take a lot of time. So instead, we will go on to problem itself directly. So write your first question. Your first question is consider the problem. Consider the problem of assigning. Consider the problem of assigning 5 jobs. 5 jobs to 5 persons. 5 jobs to 5 persons. The assignment cost are given as follows. Assignment costs are given as follows. Find minimum cost. Find minimum cost. So they are given, you have to find out minimum cost. And your question is this. Job, they have given 5 jobs. 5 jobs. And they have given 5 persons. For 5 persons, you're going to find out the minimum cost. So A, B, C, D are the persons, and that is the jobs. So your values are 8, 4, 2, 6, 1, 0, 9, 5, 5, 4, 3, 8, 9, 2, 6, 4, 3, 1, 0, 3, 9, 5, 8, 9, 5. So write the values correctly. 8, 4, 2, 6, 1, 09557 38926 43103 95895. Okay, so this is your given question, and you have to find out your minimum cost. Okay, they have given in the question, you have to find out your minimum. So in your assignment problem, your first step is to see whether your rows and patient problem. Yeah, you're able to hear me. What happened? You're all able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Put this inside. Okay, so I will continue. Okay, so what you should do is in your assignment problem, you're able to see the thing. They're all BCAA only now. Which class is this? This is BCAA.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what you should do in your assignment problem is you have to see your rows and columns have to be equal. Okay, so see here how many rows are there? One, that is first row, second, third, fourth, and fifth. You have 5 rows and you have got 5 columns. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If your rows and columns are equal, then you can continue with your assignment problem. Whereas in your transportation problem, you have to see your supply and demand. Okay, this is your difference in your transportation and your assignment problem. In your transportation problem, you will see your supply and demand equal. In your assignment problem, you have to see whether your rows and columns are equal. If your rows and columns are not equal, what you'll have to do is you will add an extra row with 0 row. Okay, you will write a 0 row, okay, and make it balanced. If at all it is with column, it is not balanced, means you will write 0 column, okay, and make it balanced. So that will be your first step in your assignment problem. Next, what you'll have to do is you have to see in your row wise. You have to start it row wise. Okay. After seeing whether it is equal, your main step, okay, for your assignment problem will be you have to start it row wise. Since it is minimum cost in your row wise, whichever is your minimum value. See in this row, this is your minimum value. 1 is your minimum value. Whichever is your minimum value, throughout this row you will minus it. Okay?
Ma'am,
So
I'm
when
one
you
to
minus, that is the jobs are saying. That is the jobs. Okay. That is not related with the problem. Okay. They have given you jobs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. This is the problem. This is the matrix which is down. No, that is only the problem. Okay. This one and similarly the persons here. Okay. This is not included. Only this rows which is being given in the matrix form. Okay. This is the assigned values for the jobs. Okay. So first row is this row. Okay. For that row, you see which is your least value. So 1 is your least value. The whole row you will minus it with 1 because we are going to find out your minimum cost. Okay. So when you're minusing it with 1, so your step 1 will become 7, 3, 1, 5, and 0. Okay. So I'll minus the whole row with 1. Next, go on to the second row. we have already got 0. The main idea of this assignment problem is you have to get 0 in each row and each column. Okay, so already there's 0 here. So you will write it just like that. That will be the least value. So 0, 9, 5, 5, and 4. So already we have got 0 in this row. So leave that row. Go on to the next row, third row. View of that row means you have to write it just like that. You have to write the row just like that without minusing anything. Okay, next go on to the third row. When you go on to the third row, see which is your least value. 2 is your least value. Since 2 is your least value, minus throughout by 2. So you'll be having 1, 6, 7, 0, and 4. Okay, so in your third row, your least value is 2. So I'm minusing throughout by 2. Go on to the next row. You have got 0 already. So we will write the row just like that. So it will be 4, 3, 1, 0, and 3. Okay, if you have got 0, you will write the row just like that. Okay, next go on to the last row. See which is your least value. Which is your least value in this? Tell me, which is your least value in this last row?
5, ma'am.
5 is your least value. So minus throughout by 5. So you'll be having 4, 0, 5 if it goes 3, then 4 and 0. Okay. So your step 1 is row wise least value you will take and minus that row. Okay. That row, only the first row, second row, third row. In that row, you will have to take this least value and minus throughout. You can write it down like you will take your least value from each row. You write in your own sentence, however you're from each row and will minus it. You will subtract it with the remaining values. Okay, and subtract it with your remaining values. Subtract it with it, subtract with the remaining values. You write it in your own understanding level. Okay, remaining values. So that will be a step 1. That is, you'll take your least value from each row and you will subtract it with your remaining values. Okay. So after that, so you have understood your step 1. Step 1, you will do it row wise. Okay. Next, we'll go on to step 2. Step 2 will be column wise. Okay. Same thing you will follow up, but you will do it column wise. You won't do it from this step. You will do it from this step. Okay. We have found out your first step. From your first step, you will go on to step 2. Okay. In your step 2, what you will do is you will take it column wise. Okay, column wise you have to do. So already if you see in your first column, you have got 0. Since we have got 0, we will write the column just like that. So it will be 7, 0, 1, 4, 4. Go on to the second column. Second column, if you go again, here is 0. So there is already a 0. So write it just like that. 3, 9, 6, 3 and 0. Okay. Third column you go. Third column is this. There is no 0. There is the least value. So 1 is your least value. So 1 you will minus throughout this column. When there is 0, you will write it just like that. If you don't have any 0, you will see the least value. Okay, so in this column, the least value, if you see, 1 is your least value. So you minus it. So it becomes 0, 4, 6, 0, and 2. Okay, go on to the next column. Your next column, if you see, there is 2 allocations. So it will be 5, 5, 0, 0, and 4. The last column also, if you see, there is 2 allocations. So the allocation is nothing but the 0. 0, so 0, 4, 4, 3, and 0. So step 1 is row wise, you will see your least value and subtract it. In your step 2, column wise you will do. Okay. In your step 2, you will take your least value column wise. Okay, you will take your least value in your column and then find out your step 2. Okay, any doubts in your step 1 and your step 2? Have you written this side? So write it down. I will write the step 2 this side. Okay, so that will be easy. Don't write it again, okay? Same thing only I'm writing. Okay, the same step 2, I've written it here. You're finished with writing the step 2, tell me, I will tell you how to find out your assignment problem, how you'll have to find out your value, minimum cost. Eva, now listen. Now listen, otherwise you won't understand. Okay, after you finish your row wise and column wise, you will try to allocate. Allocate is nothing but for each row you have to have one allocation. Allocation is what? You've got the zero, no? That is the place where you're going to allocate. Okay, so what you'll have to do, first you'll have to see in row wise, you have to see. Okay, row wise, you'll have to see whichever row has got only one allocation. Whichever row has got only one allocation, first you finish it off. Then move on to the row which has got two allocations. Because we don't know. Now, if you see in this first row, it can be allocated here or it can be allocated here. We don't know. Okay. So what is the first step is that whichever row has got only one allocation, you will allocate it there. Okay. So first step we can't allocate because we have got two places to be allocated. So we don't know. So we go on to the second row. Second row, if you see only one place they have got one allocation, so we will put like this. Okay, we will put the we are taking this allocation, so we will put it like this. Okay, after doing that, go on to the third row. Third row, if you see, there is only one allocation, we will take this. Okay, since we are taking this allocation, we cannot take in the same column another allocation, so we will cross over. Okay, in the same row or same column, you cannot have another allocation. Okay, so since we have taken this allocation in the same column, we cannot take the allocation, so you will cross over. Okay, since we have crossed over this, in this row, if you see, only these two are there. So this allocation cannot be taken, so you will naturally take this allocation. Okay, so since we are taking this allocation, in the same column, we have got this. Okay, so since we are taking this allocation, you can't take this allocation. Okay, so since we have crossed over this, the allocation here only will be this. Okay, so we will allocate this, and in the same column, if you see here, there is this you cannot allocate. So the allocation will be. So you have to see whether for each row you've got one allocation. See, you've got here one, here one, here one, here one, here one. So for each row we have got one allocation, and for each column also you have to see. In this column we have got, in this column, in this column we have got, in this column, in this column. So we have got for corresponding rows and columns a allocation. So immediately what you'll have to write, you have to write this is actually your A person, B person, C, D and E person, and your jobs are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so now your A person is assigned to which job? Fifth job. Okay, and your B person is assigned to your first job. C person is assigned to fourth job. D person is assigned to his third job. And your E person is assigned to your second. Okay. So this is how you assign it. Then you have to find out your minimum cost. Okay. Your minimum cost.
51432.
This one. Okay. Your jobs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, isn't it? So for A job, which job is there? You have taken this fifth job. Corresponding allocation where you have taken. It is from the fifth job. Okay, wow. And B, this is B row. For this B person, your first job is assigned. You have got your allocation. Okay. So B is your job is allocated your first job, and your C job we have allocated here. The corresponding job is 4. So C is allocated 4. Your D is allocated your third job, and your E is allocated your second job. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Now you have to find out your minimum cost. So how do you find out your minimum cost? You wrote your question. No, your question what was? I rubbed that question. Have you all finished these two? You finished these two? That question must be there. Tell me the question again. What was your question? 8-4. Tell me. Your first question was
261.
84261. Then 09554 38926 431 03 95895. Okay, so this was your question. This was your A, B, C, D, and E. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the jobs. Okay. So the jobs being given is this and this. Now we have found out that your minimum job, that is in your question they have asked you, for this person, you have to pay only minimum value such a way that you get the minimum cost. Okay. So we have allocated that minimum value now. We have found out that this A job, A1 can be given this such a sort of minimum cost so that he works there. Okay, so 8 to 5. So in the main question, in the problem which I have given you, in that you will see your 8 to 5th job. So that is your value. Okay. If B to your first job, your B to your first job is 0. C to your fourth job. C to your fourth job is 2. And D to your third job, E to your second job. Okay. So from your question, you will write whichever is your minimum value. And then you will write that values here. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. So that will be 6, 7, 8, 9. So your minimum cost is 9 for this 5 person and your 5 job. Okay. So this is how you're going to find out your minimum cost in your assignment problem. Any doubt, you ask me. Okay. This will be a basic problem. After this, we have got little more allocations will be little different. But this will be the basic problem. That is, in your assignment problem, you have to see whether your rows and columns are equal. After seeing that rows and columns are equal, you will go on to step 1, which is you will take row-wise least value, minus it throughout, and you will write it row-wise. That will be your step 1. Then column-wise, you will see your minimum value, find out your step 2. You will try to allocate. For each row, you should have one allocation. For each column, you should have one allocation. If you don't have, that is another procedure. Okay. But since we have got it, you see it and write it. If you've got any doubts, you can ask me.